a lot of close, exciting fights and rematches and hopefully unification and one champion rising to the top.
The whole point with that is, and I'm glad you mentioned the rematches there, because let's not forget here, the heavyweight division, a punch can do for somebody, but then the opportunity to have another go. This, these days, as Gareth was saying, Gareth, come in here as well, where you were saying, David, this unbeaten record is much more to the fore than it used to be with this division. And I think what we've got to realise, we've got some great fighters out there. Keep fighting each other until somebody comes out on top.
Yep, absolutely. All the greats put it on the line, and many took losses. Evander Holyfield had quite a few losses, Mike Tyson, and that's because they were fighting the best and wanted to fight the best. And I think hopefully we're going to see that come to the fore again. And I think the guys that you mentioned earlier, Joshua, Parker, Wilder, Tyson, they genuinely do want to fight each other. And you're right that the deal makers and promoters have a part to play. And my view is that everyone should just be fair. When people are at a similar level, the deal should be close to 50-50, maybe not quite. If a guy like Joshua is bringing in more revenue, he could expect a bigger piece of the pie. But then again, if a champion like Parker or Wilder, who's earned a genuine championship and never been beaten, I don't think they should be getting the ratio that a voluntary...
Has that slightly disappointed you? The ratio that you've got at the moment.
Yeah, look, the initial offer was quite a lot less than several other opponents that Joshua has fought, and the ratio was closer to what any regular voluntary would get than you would expect for worldwide unification. So we were disappointed, but it is a negotiation, and the talks are ongoing.
David, I think you good evening. I think you were so disappointed. I think you were quoted first of all as saying you thought it was a hoax email from an Eddie Hearn account.
Yeah, I did. It appeared to be from Eddie Hearn, but it had an offer that was, probably around half what Charles Martin was paid, and we just thought that didn't respect Joseph's achievement. I think that part of boxing, and certainly in poorer parts of the world, is the young people see it as an opportunity and a 1 in a million or 1 in a 10 million opportunity to sort of fight their way up out of poverty into opportunity, and if they become world champion, hopefully set their families, extended families up for life. Certainly Joseph got a massive extended family in Samoa, New Zealand, etc. And so, for global unification, I think Joshua and Eddie probably already are set for life, and we're not looking for more than Joshua. We just like a fair ratio. Of
course, you want a fair piece of the pie, but is it in any way, and that was kind of late last week that you were saying that, or your quotes are put out in New Zealand media and it was picked up around the world, but two things really. Have things changed since then? Because I know there's lots of negotiations going on behind the scenes at the moment. But have things changed since then? But also, do you in any way feel that they're trying to send you sideways to keep Anthony Joshua away from Joseph Parker for longer?
Look, that's possible. So first of all, I think their camper have signalled that they're willing to talk and might do a better deal. So that's positive that they've signalled that. Secondly, on whether they're trying to keep Parker at bay, that's possible. We think Parker beats Joshua. We think it's not a easy fight, probably nearly a 50-50 fight, but we think Parker wins simply because he's got a better chin.
Does he take him late as well, David? That's what people are saying now. You take Joshua late and you've got a better chance?
Yeah, maybe, because our camp's view is that he tires late. But then again, if you watch many of Parker's middle and earlier fights on the inside, he's actually pretty good if someone comes forward to him. It's the ones like Hughie Fury that make Joseph Parker look a little awkward, but the ones that square up and come forward like Joshua, Joseph has knocked many of them out with the shorter punches on the inside. So I could see it going either way, but I think with Joshua having been down a few times, if they're standing in front of each other trading, we'd be backing Joseph Parker.
I mean, you've got other fights planned, but could you see a March fight if everything gets organised, and where would you like to see that fight?
Well, when the fight is up to Joshua and Eddie Hearn. We take it next, but we won't take it till the deal's fair. So, sometimes a lot of these bigger fights take years to put together because one side wants too much, and then eventually they compromise close to 50-50 or 60-40 and the fight happens, like Pacquiao, Mayweather or whatever. So Eddie can fast forward that, and Joshua, by going straight to the fair deal now, then we might see the fight happen in the first or second quarter of next year. But if they want to dig their heels in, then we'll wait until it's a fair deal. I mean, they might want to go fight Wilder first, and we're relaxed about that. If they do that, we then seek to fight the winner of Wilder Joshua.
Who do you think wins that, David?
I think Wilder. Look, it's hard to say, but I think Wilder's pretty tricky, and it could go either way. I mean, Joshua is a good boxer, and I also think Tyson Fury, a fit Tyson Fury, would give everyone a handful, and he's good for boxing. He speaks the truth, shoots from the lip, and deserves a shot back. I think Joseph Parker has the belt he vacated, so if he got fit, wanted to crack back at his belt, we'd be happy to talk to him about doing something at either Old Trafford or Manchester Arena.
I suppose the key in all of this really is that, I mean, because my next question to you really was, don't you want to grab Joshua then before he fights Wilder if you think Wilder beats him? Because obviously it's a bigger fight. It's a bigger kind of, a bigger fight in terms of the projection for Joseph if he fights Anthony Joshua because of the standing over here. And as you say, it would be more likely to happen in the UK than anywhere else. But we go back to this thing. Don't these guys need to fight each other maybe once or twice? Or maybe 3 times?
Yeah, well, the offer that they've made us to fight Joshua is about the same as what Wilder's camp have offered us.
Okay.
So money-wise, they're both on the lower end. So we'll just keep negotiating, and if Joshua comes up to what we regard as a fair ratio, my preference is open book revenue share with a minimum guarantee. And if we can do a deal like that, then we'll make the fight happen in the new year.
But what about just cards on the table? So if obviously Lucas Brown is lined up to potentially fight a kind of trans-Tasmanian fight, and Melbourne has been mentioned. I know that Melbourne. Sorry, I said it wrong.
Melbourne is a village in Cambridge.
Oh, so it is. Indeed, it is at Melbourne. Melbourne. If it does happen, say someone like Melbourne, and does that? Can you earn more money in that fight than fighting either Joshua or Wilder?
Potentially, but we've got an offer from China that is a little more than what we've been offered for Joshua, and we're getting offers from the United States. Povetkin will become our mandatory, and if we go to Russia, purse bid or no purse bid, it might pay double what we've been offered to fight Joshua.
And who do you fight in China, David?
Zili or someone.
Okay.
I don't have a name at my fingertips, but it's a credible offer that's shaping up to go to China. But the Joshua Parker fight is big. It's a global. It's a unification. I think unification gives it special credibility. It's not like fighting Takam or even Pulev. It's got special credibility. That means it's a very big revenue event. And therefore, it's a big pie, and they just need to give us a slightly bigger piece of the pie, and we'll be happy, and we'll take the fight.
It's Zhili Zhang, the number 11 ranked Chinese fighter. Wow, that might be watched by a few billion people, if you went there.
Yep. And Bob